Good evening and welcome to This Is The Day. My name is Sarah Otieno. We are live on Family TV and also live on Family Radio where the music does the talking. It's another week, another day that the Lord has made, and help me rejoice and be glad on this day. Well, use the WhatsApp number 0786316316 and talk to us. Also through the SMS line 20316. Today's a special day, and especially for the teachers as we celebrate the World Teachers Day. It's good to remember that our teachers have molded us to who we are today. That is a true fact, and no one can change that. We owe it to our teachers, and we are celebrating all the teachers out there. And happy World Teachers Day to you if you are a teacher. Well, we'll be having a discussion about that and the issues that are affecting teachers across the country in a couple of minutes, but for now we get it started. Now, the National Transport and Safety Authority Director General George Njau has summoned officials of two bus companies to appear before them following the chaos that were witnessed yesterday in Kenol, Murang'a. The officials of Neo Kenya Mpya Commuters Limited and Joy Kenya Services Limited are to answer allegations that their buses were hired to ferry goons who caused chaos in Murang'a. The NTSA boss said that the summon is part of the implementation of the PSV Regulation 2014 and in consultation with the Inspector General of Police. The Inspector General of Police, Hilary Mutyambai, had directed the authority to immediately follow the matter following the clashes that led to the death of two people, and also the Member of Parliaments Ndindi Nyoro of Kihara and Alice Wahome of Kandara have also been summoned regarding the same matter.
Sisi we are non-partisan na hatuko kwa hiyo maneno ya siasa, na jana hakuna gari yetu hata moja imekombolewa. Gari zetu zilikuwa kwa the normal route zikielekea Thika na zingine zikielekea Keno, na zikipata abiria zinabeba. Na sio zetu tu, kampuni zote za Thika zilibeba hao watu juu walikuwa wengi na walikuwa wanasema wanaenda chama. Kwa wale wenye tulirudi kusikia baadaye, kwa sababu there was nothing, and I would like evidence that tulikomboresha gari hata moja kwenda mahali ikauzwe vurugu. Hata kama sio vurugu for any reason, sisi hatujakomboresha gari hata moja, na Honorable Murathe, we demand an apology from you, kwa sababu sisi na Jubilee tumekuwa pamoja na hii maneno ya serikali. We have been in it and supporting throughout.
Well, the Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro, however, claims that the summon he has received are simply political rages and alleges that the directives from the summon are from the Interior CS Fred Matiang'i and PS Karanja Kibicho.
How, even a madman, how would you come to disrupt your own meeting? How would you come to burn your own house? So this is just diversionary, and I want to tell Mutyambai, I know you said that we be arrested because my own, personally, I mentioned Matiang'i and I mentioned Kefisho. And I know that is where the directive to arrest me and Alice came from. So, mimi nataka kuambia wacha hii maneno yote ya sarakasi diversionary. They know where the meetings were planned, planning meetings to disrupt were held. My own, personally, I informed our county commissioner, Mr. Barre, and fortunately, I did it through a message, something that I have in my phone. If you can zoom your camera, I'll show you. As early as Friday, we knew people were meeting at a hotel called Ejude in Murang'a. We knew Sabina Chege met the leaders of those disruptors at Thika Greens. And if Thika Greens are kind enough, they can produce the cameras. So the things we are saying, sio wazimu. They know the money to disrupt DP's meetings is coming from the Office of Interior. Na sasa imebadilika imekuwa Office of Interior Insecurity and Violence. Wacheni kutoa pesa ya umma kwenda kupanga vijana to disrupt our meetings, then you come back to claim you want to arrest the same people you are harassing. So hii maneno sio Murang'a peke yake, imekuwa ikihappen around the country, na unajua. Hii ya juzi Murang'a.
Still on the same matter, Murang'a Governor Mwangi wa Iria has come out guns blazing, saying he will henceforth take charge of all political functions and events in that county. This follows the chaos that were witnessed in Kennel during the visit of Deputy President William Ruto, which caused the death of 2 people and dozens were injured. And the Governor wa Iria, addressing a press conference today, said all meetings by outsiders held in Murang'a, except those by the President Uhuru Kenyatta, must be approved directly by his office.
Tumesema kila mkutano ambao itafanyika hapa, kwa sababu ni mkutano ambao inaangazia mambo ya wananchi wetu, sisi tutakuwa kwa hizo mikutano zote. Kwa hivyo mtu asifikirie ati next time utafanya mkutano ya kuja kuleta furugu, ukuje ulete furugu na utuletee watu na sisi tuondogee. Kazi yetu ni kulinda amani ya watu wetu wa Murang'a. Na tumesema sisi tutakuwa hapo ili kuzuia vita. Kwa sababu tunaona tukiondokea kidogo watu wanatuletea vita na inasemekana Murang'a kumewaka moto. Hawakuweko, watu wawili hawawezi yakisha moto Murang'a. Na nilisikia jana walisema tarehe 16 wako Mathioya. Waambiwe katika mkutano wa Mathioya, Gavana wa Iria ndiye atakuwa MC. Ama Irungu Kang'ata ama Wanjiru Shere. Na sisi zote tutakuwa hapo. Na haja ya kuwa hapo ni ili temperature ikipanda tunazusha. Ikipanda tunazusha. Waambiwe kila mkutano ambao unahusu watu kutoka nje, mimi hata kama wengine watakuwa busy bunge na lobby, mimi nitakuwa hapo na mimi nitakuwa nachukua cheo na kiti cha MC kuanzia mwanzo mpaka mwisho ili kuzuia vita. Kwa hivyo mimi nawaalika, lakini wajue hawatakuwa wanakuja hapa kufanya mwongozo wa vita.
Well, from the look of things, political rallies is no longer just a matter of social distancing and also the preventing the spread of COVID-19. Right now, as it is, it's also a matter of the security of our people, and especially the youth and people that can be influenced by political parties. Now, with all this happening and 2 people losing their lives because of this political party and also the gatherings that were supposed to take place in that area, Murang'a, this is why we bring in the question of the day. Do you think that political parties and gatherings, political gatherings that is, should be banned because of the negative effects that is causing to the people? Do you think political gatherings should be banned? Send in your responses to 20316, that is through SMS, through the WhatsApp number 0786 316 316. I want to hear from you and what you feel about the political gatherings and the negative effects that it's causing on our people. Now, Kenya today has recorded 22 new cases of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours, and up to now the total number of infections stands at 39,449. Now, in a statement that was given today by Health CAS Dr. Rashid Aman, he announced that 595 samples have been tested, and now the total number of samples is 564,078. Of recovered patients, 360 are from the home-based care program, while 16 are from various hospitals across the country. And we also lost 4 patients who succumbed to the virus, now bringing the total number of victims and those that succumbed to COVID-19 to 735.
We have 595 confirmed cases. We tested 595, After testing 595 samples, we have 22 confirmed positive cases, which brings our total number of positives to 39,449. Our cumulative tests stand at 564,078. From these 22 cases for today, all are Kenyans except 1 foreigner. 15 are male, 7 are female. The youngest is an 18-year-old, while the oldest is 65. On a positive note, today 376 people have recovered from the disease. 360 of these from the home-based care program, and 16 have been discharged from various hospitals where they were receiving care. Our total recoveries now stand at 27,035. I want to thank our healthcare workers for their selfless dedication to duty, which has enabled us to achieve these great results. At the same time, there are 1,029 healthcare workers who have so far been confirmed positive with COVID-19 in the country. Out of this, 526 are males, 503 are females. Our case fatality rate for the healthcare workers still remains very low at 1.6%. Sadly, we have lost 4 patients to the disease, bringing the cumulative deaths to 735. Again, we take this opportunity to convey our sincere condolences to the families and friends of those who have lost their loved ones.
All right, our condolences to those that lost their families and loved ones to COVID-19 up to now. Well, still, the question that we are answering today, or the opinion that I want to hear from you, is after what happened in Kennel yesterday, well, do you think political gatherings should be banned? I'm waiting for your responses. Thank you so much for tuning in to This Is The Day. My name is Sarah Otieno. We are live on Family TV, also live on Family Radio, where the music does the talking. Thank you, Sam from Nakuru, for tuning in today. And also you didn't give me your name, but you're saying I am enjoying the show. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, the Kenya National Union of Teachers has called on the Ministry of Education to release the new education calendar that will guide the process of the reopening of schools. Speaking during the commemoration of the World Teachers' Day, NAT Secretary General Wilson Sossion said the opening of schools was overdue and students need to resume learning, especially now that the COVID-19 cases in the country have reduced. The NAT Secretary General has, however, called on the government to guarantee the safety of the teachers and learners by ensuring all the COVID-19 regulations and protocols are put in place.
The truth is, NAT is shutting down financially. That's the truth. And I'm saying it without any iota of doubt today. Our monthly budget for operation is 144 million. You receive 32 million, and the budget is 144 million. And somebody sits very gracefully, and we have seen them sending doctored statements to the media houses, telling you and cheating you that members have run away from NAT. That is not the truth. This is manual coercion and removal of members from our register. Come to think of it, a union that has been on strike for 36 days and delivered a CBA, that is so good. Do you think members can run away from such a union? Definitely not. This is a strong union. And today we are stating that our membership and our register must be reinstated as it was in June 2019, short of which sisi hatutakuwa na amani na TSC. I think we have seen it all. We have seen enough. Education sector requires unity, not war, particularly after the COVID-19. And so TSC must shape up. If it cannot style up, then the president must step in. Because then TSC is putting teachers in a coalition cause with the government. We are not at war with the government. And we have stated very clearly, we want to get down to work, recover the lost time. We cannot do it when we are under attack. So you'll get this document and share and write and report. You know, promotion of democracy is objective reporting. Don't say you are balancing. What are you balancing with an institution that is crippling and fighting the very workers that they ought to protect?
Well, and speaking about the issues that affect teachers, and especially during this year, we have COVID-19. I earlier on spoke to Joyce Thairi, who is an educationist, and this is what she had to say. Well, Madam Thairu, thank you for joining us today. And this is a special day not only for you, but also for teachers across the world. And during this time, even as we celebrate this day for teachers, COVID-19 has greatly affected the learning institution, if I may call it that way, the education calendar. So how have the teachers been affected with this pandemic?
Thank you, Sarah, for wishing us well. We are excited. Today is our day, the 5th of October.
Yeah.
And teachers, I want to say happy International Teachers' Day.
Oh, yes.
And COVID has affected learning since March, and most academic institutions have been closed, and we have been greatly affected. Teachers we love what we do. We love going to school and interacting with children. So being away from children has affected us, in many ways. And the first thing is actually we've been affected socially because we are used to interacting with your children. They come to school and they tell us many stories, and we interact and are happy, and that has been taken away from us by COVID, and of course that is not a good thing, and we are affected socially. The other thing is that teachers are generally affected like everybody else. There was a lot of there's a lot of disruption, even in other aspects, financially. People are used to doing things on the side. Now they cannot do things on the side, so there's loss of revenue. Teachers have been affected also as other human beings. And of course, we have teachers who have lost their dear ones to COVID, and that is a sad thing. Although we are trying to support one another. I was talking to a teacher in a certain school this morning, and he told me that a colleague lost her husband, and that is not easy.
Yeah, sure.
Also, teachers, many people lost their livelihoods, especially teachers in private schools. And a number of private schools have actually closed down. So you can imagine how teachers in those institutions, be it primary schools, secondary schools, even tertiary institutions that are privately owned, they closed down. So, that means there are no job opportunities for those particular teachers, and it is not easy for them.
Oh, that's really tough. But I like the theme that we are celebrating this year, leading in crisis and actually reimagining the future, and not only in the education sector, but also for the children themselves. So right now, even as the government is talking about how do I put it, like learning coming back to normal, of course in phases, and we know that today a part of the school sector and the education sector was supposed to report back to school. So do you think things are going to be the same, and especially for teachers and their pupils or their students?
I want to say that things might not go back to the same. The same things will not go back to the old, what we are calling the old normal. Because just imagine when schools open, I as a teacher will be worried if the children will contract, the virus in school. How are we going to manage things like social distances, especially for young children? Those are issues of concern, and we are very concerned. I was talking to a few teachers this morning, and they have those in primary schools have reported to schools, and they are very concerned because some public schools have a lot of children. One particular school near where I stay, they have over 300 children in class 8.
That's a big number.
How are they going to manage? And actually, the total population in the school is about 3,000 pupils.
Wow.
So how are they going to manage the social distancing? That is a serious issue of concern. We don't know how, but what we know is that things will not be as usual. Probably there might be different ways of mitigating. For example, coming up with a shift way of lessons where some children learn in the morning, others in the afternoon. As it used to happen sometimes back. Yeah. And the other thing is that when the children come to school, they are excited to meet their peers. How are you going to ensure that there is no physical contact?
That's a tough one. Yeah.
We are very concerned about that. And also, how do we handle learners with their special needs? There are learners in those schools with special needs, there are those on wheelchairs. How are we going to handle that? You're not supposed to have physical contact with them. So that is a serious issue of concern for us. But anyway, solutions will come up as we continue. Then the other thing is, how do you teach in a mask? To children who are in masks. I mean,
Wow.
And you can imagine children, let's say in lower primary schools, they can be mischievous
Yes.
in class, and they are producing some funny sounds, and you're not able to tell who it is.
Who did
So,
that?
you did that. You're not able to tell. So
Yeah.
that is a serious issue of concern. And then, how do we mark books?
Okay.
How do we collect books, and how do we mark them?
Wow. It's
Those are serious issues. Those are serious issues, and the greatest concern among the teachers is what we've been reading in the media about girls getting pregnant. So you can imagine, and of course, boys are affected in their own unique ways.
Yes.
Boys might not get pregnant, but there are other unique ways in which they are have been affected by this prolonged stay at home. So what we are saying is that probably we are talking about 300 children in class 8, but less than half might not, more than half might not return to school, and that is a serious issue of concern. So are we going to go back to the old normal? I doubt. I doubt. Yes, I really doubt.
Yeah, and you talked about some of the challenges, and you pointed out the issue of teaching in masks, and I'm thinking,
Yes.
what about the visually impaired, or let's not even visually, like those that cannot hear, the deaf, and they rely
Yes.
basically on the lip reading and the signs. It's gonna be tough.
Yes. It's going to be tough, but I saw somebody who has designed a hearing impaired friendly mask.
The clear one.
Where the clear one, so that at least the person can see through the lips of the teacher. So I think people are still coming up with innovations. But those children with special needs will have it will be a serious challenge for both the teachers and also the learners.
All right.
Yes,
I get
yes.
your point. But then
Yes.
teachers have been doing some work during this corona period.
Yes.
Let me just get it from you. How have you made sure that you stay at par, especially with your children, and also the connection? What have you been doing during this time as schools have been closed down?
Okay, here we have children in different strata. They're high ed, children attending high ed schools. Learning has continued. Okay, the teaching has continued, but I'm not sure that learning has been happening. Those are two different
things.
Different things.
Yeah.
Teaching has continued, but I'm not sure if learning has continued. But anyway, the teachers in those private schools high-ed private schools have been interacting with their teachers on the day-to-day basis. But my greatest concern is that people in the lower strata, and they are the majority.
Oh, yes.
Millions of children whose bags were placed somewhere on 18th of March, and nobody has ever touched them. Those are the majority of the children, and I sit in a board in a certain community school, and we tried engaging parents, as a way of keeping them in touch with the school.
Yeah.
It was extremely difficult because they are telling us we don't have airtime, we don't have bundles, and that is a reality because most parents have lost their livelihood. So I mean, we cannot expect too much from them. So at that particular level, let's say retro has been happening, though parents have been interacting a bit with teachers, those who are at least who are knowledgeable, but there is a category of parents who have never even bothered to talk to the teachers. First and foremost, they are overwhelmed by this COVID thing has affected people in different diverse ways. So they are thinking, do I call the teacher or do I buy flour for the children?
I understand.
Those are the realities. However, at a community level, I must say that a few teachers, the teachers I've interacted with, have been doing a bit of community work. I know of a teacher who has been inviting children in her house and teaching them life skills.
Wow.
Knitting, crocheting, of course, ensuring there is social distance. As far as we don't have so many, it is possible. I know teachers who have started teaching, even life skills online. They have started teaching life skills online. I do a lot of online mentorship myself. I teach. I deal with the adults and the high school students. I do platforms for online teaching for life skills. Basically, that is how we have been engaging them.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that. And I remember what I was talking to you about earlier, and literally everybody owes it to their teacher. Because from the very lowest point of our lives until we've grown up to the universities, the colleges, and even before someone now goes into the employment and employment sector, that is, we owe it to our teachers. You literally shape us. And I'm wondering, look at this teacher who is working in a condition that is not very good. Like, let's take, for instance, the areas that are exposed to fighting, let's say Baringo, Pokot, and we know Turkana, these areas. But teachers give their all to go to these places. So I'm going to ask you, as one of them, do you think the government is doing enough to make sure that our teachers are comfortable? At least comfortable?
Sarah, I'll tell you that I'm usually very patriotic, but on this one, I must say that the government has failed the teachers. You take into consideration that last week the teachers in primary schools were ordered to go to school with no specific responsibilities. They report to school at 8, sit doing nothing. They don't know what to expect. They don't know when the children will be reporting back to school until 4. So, and of course, there is a threat that if you don't go, this and this is going to happen. First of all, I want to say this. I'm extremely disappointed by the Ministry of Education threatening teachers, forcing them to go to schools when there is nothing to be done in school. They spent the whole of last week from Monday to Friday in school from 8 to 4 doing absolutely nothing. I want the Ministry of Education to hear this. This is unfair to our teachers. Very unfair. Because honestly, I would say, I teach at the university, we have been given a schedule. The students are reporting on this date, come and do this and this and this on this date. We are expecting this group of students from this date. So when I'm going to university, I know what I'm going to do. But when you force teachers to go to school and sit there the whole day, what do you expect? Demoralization, And you do not force somebody to go to school just because I'm paying you. So that is, first of all, very wrong. Let us consult even the teachers. And the other thing, I want to tell the Kenya National Union of Teachers, please have the interest of teachers at heart, so that you are consulted on matters of, the welfare of the teachers, so that you can also say, no, we do not refuse our teachers to go to school, but tell us, what are they going to do? If they were told, go to school so that you prepare for the reopening of the schools at a particular date, nobody would say no, but now they don't know what to do. And the other thing is that the head teachers have not received monies to facilitate the Ministry of Health, regulations. For example, we cannot see anything happening about creating of those places of washing hands, hand washing stations in public schools. It is not happening. So, I mean, what is the ministry doing? When are you releasing the money so that those things are done, so that when we are sure that the children are safe when they come to school? And the other thing is that I would have expected at least when the teachers come back and the ministry probably would have engaged people to offer psychosocial support to the teachers. They have been at home. Some of them have had different challenges. So instead of them sitting at home, and it can even be done online, because these days it's possible to do things online. You can have somebody, you know, at a central position, and teachers almost throughout the country learning how to cope, let's say, for example, and other social skills, so that they're able to cope and you know, about the issues that they have faced during this coronavirus. And this is a challenge to every employer. People have gone through a lot. Let us not assume that people will just come back to the office and continue as if nothing has happened. Let us invest in our people. And this is not the time for the Ministry of Education to threaten anybody. You cannot threaten anybody. This is the time to embrace people. People have gone through a lot. This is the time to empathize with their situations, even offering counseling services. You know, you ask people, are you going through unique challenges that you feel you need support from a counselor, support from psychologists so that you're able to cope? This is the time to do that, because we are expecting teachers to accept children back who have gone through a lot and do not build their capacity. We need to build their capacity so that when the children come back, because I can assure you, children have gone through a lot. You know, people don't appreciate what we do in school. People really don't appreciate. But when the children are out there, they go through a lot in those homes. Let alone outside of those homes. In those homes, they go through a lot. And I can tell you from experience that we have had children who go for holidays, and they experience so much, and nobody realizes until they come back to school. And the teacher notices that,
this child is not okay.
This child is not okay. So on interrogation, they realize a lot went, this child went through a lot. And they start offering support to the child. So imagine children have been at home for the last 6 months. That has not been happening. So you can imagine the kind of children we are going to receive in schools now. What do you expect?
Wow.
So this is the time the ministry should have plans to offer psychosocial support to the teachers, even building their capacity to be able to empower the children when they come back to school wounded. Because I can tell you for a fact.
Most of the children will come back wounded, because so many things have happened, as you are saying, and I believe that this is a wake-up call for the government and even the unions, that are representing the teachers.
Yes.
All right.
Well,
thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And as I said, this is a special day for the teachers across the world. And from me and the team, we just wish you all the best and a happy, happy day for you.
Thank you so much. It is a pleasure being in this station. Even you thinking about us, the teachers, we really feel honored. And I want to speak to my fellow teachers out there. Take heart. Nobody appreciates our effort. This is for a fact. You will be, I have been in this profession for the last 23 years.
Yes.
You will be happy with children until you make a mistake and the parent comes, up in arms to attack you. And the other thing is that parents, I hope you have now started appreciating our work.
Lazima. Teaching them from home has not been easy.
Sure. I have been seeing a lot of videos where people enjoying, making fun of the parents, how they are struggling, teaching basic things to their children. Yes.
So it's actually high time that we appreciate this profession, because it really nurtures our people and our children. Thank you, Mwalimu. I really appreciate this discussion.
Yes, and before I go, I want to say this.
Yes.
Whenever I speak to children, I ask them, what do you want to become? Nobody says they want to be a teacher.
Really?
Sure. If you find children interested in doing teaching, is only, say, 1 or 2 in a group of more than 100. And I keep on asking them, who will teach your children? because you don't want to be teachers who will teach your children. And the society needs to wake up, because we talk ill about teachers without thinking about the repercussions that it has on the children. They don't want to become teachers because of the things they hear at home, teachers being described. And let me tell you, we are happy being teachers. I have interacted with so many people in my life, but the group that comprises of the happiest people are the teachers.
Wow.
They earn little, but you find they give so much to the children, and you know what? You get fulfilled by giving. The fact that we give, and we give willingly, we're always looking for opportunity to give. I'll tell you, in some primary schools, some teachers even make, they look for opportunities for scholarships for their children coming from very humble backgrounds.
Wow.
We have read that in the media. The boy who reported to, I think, his school was given fare by the teachers in their former primary school.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, and these are things that happen every day. You will find people out there cannot do that. And it is only by giving that you can get fulfilled, and happiness is gotten through giving. And because we teachers are givers of knowledge, givers of support, givers of many things, that is why we are always smiling.
Wow, that is why you have a broad smile.
Sure, because we give. Yeah.
Oh, asante sana. I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate that you could join us in this discussion today. Have a beautiful evening. Wandina from Migori, thank you so much. You're saying, thanks family, I have found a blessing. Asante sana for tuning in today. Martin Dungu, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Jen listening from Mihango, and they're saying, how are they going to teach children wearing masks the whole day? Nobody does. Oh, asante sana for reaching out and for your response. Lucas from Ruiru, asante sana. Sam Wanakuru pia nakuona, thank you very much for tuning in today. I also see John Abanda Omwana wa Zipora kutoka Bungoma. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. Well, now, as the November 3rd elections approaches in the U.S., lines of voters stretched from polling places, that is in Virginia and Minnesota, as early voting started in 4 states, the first of the 2020 presidential election. The longest lines were found in Virginia, where voters previously needed a reason to cast an early vote. In the state Fairfax County, where reports showed that lines stretching for hours, election workers scrambling to open an additional voting room as the county government centers.
A polling station in Northern Virginia, outside Washington, D.C. People start arriving early in the morning, even though the elections are more than a month away. The line only gets longer as the day progresses. Everybody is wearing masks and practicing social distancing. The average wait time is about 45 minutes.
It seems to be at least an hour, more than an hour perhaps.
And you are ready to stay?
Of course. American democracy is on the line.
I didn't expect it, but it's been moving much faster than I thought it would. Yeah, I have to work today, but this is more important right now, so I'm going to do it.
The turnout so far for the November 3rd elections is at a record high. Fairfax County election head Gary Scott says he hasn't seen lines this long in his 24-year career.
The comparison is we had a grand total of 137,000 absentee voters in person and by mail. In this year, we've already sent out more absentee ballots than that. As I said, we've sent 170,000 out. So we're looking that probably 2/3 of our voters will have either cast or received a ballot prior to Election Day.
Experts say, on average, about half of U.S. voters will cast their ballots early.
I'm projecting about 150 million people will vote, and about half of those people will vote prior to the election day. So we're looking at about 75 million people that could vote before election day.
While there is intense interest in the presidential race, the main reason for this wave of early voting, experts say, is the coronavirus pandemic. People are simply afraid of crowds during election day.
I'm just kind of worried about what might happen and making sure that, my normal voting place is going to be open and available. And as I said, I'm very passionate about making some change this year, and been very frustrating, obviously, in 2020.
Because of the pandemic, many states have simplified the procedure of early voting and mail-in ballots. This year, anyone can vote by mail.
The one thing that is outstanding for me is that all those people are wearing face masks. That's a good thing. Now, 2 young men in Kenya who dropped out of school have impressed many with their innovations. Moses Njoroge and David Ngathu, who stay with their grandmother, have created a virus decontamination system. This is a machine, and also an upper limb prosthetic arm, and their list goes on and on. Well, this is the interesting part. They're making all these things out of junk.
I was born with this curiosity mind, and I thought instead of going on with this high school thing, let me start making what I want, or the passion that I have inside. And I started designing some gadgets, doing some mathematics here and there. The contamination system, this chamber on the left side, it's the one that uses high voltage to smash the oxygen particles. And whenever oxygen particles, they are heated by a high voltage, they produce a certain electromagnetic wave. Whenever I close my eyes or I deep think, I emit this band of frequencies ranging from 9 to 12 cycles per second, known as the alpha waves. These signals are tapped by this gadget, and they are amplified, they are filtered, then converted to electronic current, and then transmitted externally to control various electrical and mechanical devices.
These innovations are purely a blessing. I also don't understand. He didn't get any of the ideas by going to school. It's just a blessing. He started repairing watches, later on he focused on phones, and now he makes so many things. And I don't understand what they make. When they make these things, they don't talk to anyone.
My dream, or our dream, is to have a facility where we'll be able to gather all the like-minded people in this field. Because most in organization, they don't give people who are maybe Form 4 leavers and other people who aren't educational.
Well, they have different kinds of gadgets, and they even have those that you can control with your own mind. This is something that we need to take into consideration. Kenya has a lot of talent, that we must say. And again, it also tells us that even if you are a dropout, even if you did not complete schooling up to the university or even high school, there's still hope. And you can be a champion and someone that people can look up to, like these two, Moses and David. And even their grandma says, hata yeye haelewi vitu anatengeneza, but it's for a good cause. Thank you so much for tuning in to This Is The Day. We wish you a very, very peaceful night and a blessed week ahead. My name is Sarah Otieno, and I will see you.
For this and more of our shows, log on to www.familymediaonline.com to enjoy a wide variety of programs, from current affairs to testimonials and features, pastoral and inspirational shows, kids entertainment, and so much more. Also stream live on www.familymedia.tv.